All right, so now, again, like I said, I want to go ahead and do the odds. All right, so multiply numbers, add exponents. So correct answer for number one, negative 15 x to the sixth y. Any questions? Any questions? What?
Would you not make it?
What do you mean, would I not make it?
Well, why is not x is 6 y over 15?
What's 5 times 3?
Negative 15.
So what's the problem? How is that negative 1 over 15?
No. Oh, wait, that was a negative number, not a negative.
Okay, number 3. Again, multiplying numbers. 3 times negative 2, negative 6. Adding exponents. So that would give me a to the third, d to the fourth. All right, let's check out number 5. Now it's just saying negative 15 divided by negative 3, which is positive 5. Still the same rules, adding exponents. So that's going to be x squared y to the 7th.
For the numbers, because I know for the exponent, for the, like, if it was x or y, if there's not an exponent over it, it's 1. Does that apply to the numbers? Or?
Yeah, if there's no number in front, it's a 1.
Okay, then.
Like if I said x squared y, that's 1 x squared y.
Yes. For the. Okay.
Right? Good?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're on number 7. Here we go. Now, again, in this case, this is being squared. 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9. And now the rule is power to power, you're multiplying. So p squared. Anybody have any issues? Hold on a second. Did I record this? Oh yeah, I did. I'm sorry. My brain, I don't know. All right. Anybody have any questions with 7? What?
Wouldn't the exponent 2 and the 2 on top of the 2/3, wouldn't they cancel since they're both 2s? It would just be left with 3.
The question is, Connor, 2 squared. What is 2 squared?
4 Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, number 9. Here we go. Base. This is a base, so that doesn't change. This is a power to a power. What do I do with those numbers? So that right now is 3 to the 6th to the 4th power. So your final answer is essentially just 3 to the 24th. Notice because the 3 is considered a base, you're not changing the base when you do a power to a power. So this essentially is power to a power to a power. So all we're doing here is multiplying these numbers. All right, 3 to the 24th. All right, let's knock out 11. All right, now we see our first problem here. We have a negative exponent. We don't like those. So in my opinion, it's easier to just go ahead and move this down first. So I want everybody to write 2a cubed over b squared c cubed, raise that to the 5th power. That's what I'd like for you to do first. Then from there, you now do everything to the 5th power. So again, 2 to the 5th, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. If you don't like that, I don't even care if you use your calculator, but I'd like for you to be able to multiply by 2. All right, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And eventually you'll just know 2 to the 5th is 32. Power to power, you're multiplying. So that'd be a to the 15th over. Yeah, that's what I said, 32. And then it would be B to the what? And then C to the, there you have it, guys. That's all there is for the rules. All right, let's knock out 13. Now, when you multiply, what do you do? So dividing is subtracting. Now, for some reason, this is a problem. I don't know why, but how many A's are on the top? 4. How many A's are on the bottom? Now, that's technically what I mean. So it's A, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's literally what that means. So what do you think I can do with this A, this A, this A, and this A? They do what? They cancel out. That's how they figured out the rule. So this would be 1 over A to the what? Third. Notice there are more A's in the denominator. So you leave them in the denominator. I don't know why that's tricky. Now, again, highlighting here, how many B's on the top?
6.
How many on the bottom?
2.
So that leaves me with
4.
4 where?
On top.
On the top, B to the 4th. So the answer is just B to the 4th over A cubed. B to the 4th over A cubed. Any issues? All right, I feel good. All right, here we go. Remember what I told you, circle the negative exponent. And what do I do with that? Put it up here. All right, you move it. So now make another fraction bar, x cubed y, neither one of those move, y to the 4th x equals. Now, let's do this way. You're right. Let's do the x's first. How many x's on top?
3 and
How many on the bottom? So that leaves me
x to the second.
x to the 2nd on the top. How many y's on the top?
5. 2. Or 5, yeah.
Well, all right. There's 1 here and how many here?
4.
So all together, that gives me 5.
X squared y to the 5.
X squared y to the 5th. That's it. X squared y to the 5th. Everybody's good? Come on, if you're not knowing something, let me know. All right, here we go. Let's try 17. All right, so now we just taking this right here and reducing that fraction. I can reduce that by how many?
8.
8. So that becomes
3 over 4.
3 over 4. How many x's on top?
8.
How many on the bottom?
1.
Leaves me
7.
7 where?
On the top.
On the top. How many y's on the top?
1.
How many on the bottom?
1. 5.
Which leaves me
4.
4 where? On the bottom. Come on, I just think this is easy. All right, any issues? Continuing on, 19. Oh, this is a good one. Power to a power, what's the rule? Multiply. So now I have x to the 6th times x to the negative 6. All right, now there's lots of ways to do this, but I would prefer that you just say that's really just x to the 6th over x to the 6th. And anything divided by itself is what? 1. All right, now the other rule is you could just add the exponents and just say that's technically x to the 0. And anything to the 0 power is still what? 1. Same answer. Same answer.
So is the answer 1 or is the answer x? 'Cause 1 is representing 1.
1 is not x, right? 1 is not x. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't-
Anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. All right, here we go, 21. Now, do we agree these are all different? P, Q, and R.
Yes.
Does anything cancel?
No.
No, we just have to put them in the right spot. Where does P go?
On the top.
On the top. Where does Q go? Where does R go? Yeah, guys, again, I just think this is easy. It's just knowing the rules. Sienna, how you doing? Good? Good? Anybody else? Max, how you doing, bud? I know, that's why you're practicing. All right, I'm not trying to be funny at all. You learn the rules. And if you don't know the rules, I tried to teach you how to learn the rules just by making your own little problems up. All right, that's what I'm hoping you can do. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Now notice the negatives in parentheses. I want everybody to make a note to yourself. If I said -3/4 to the 0, what would that be? -1, because the negative is now not to the 0 power. So make yourself a note. You need to know that.
So if it's in,
If it's in parentheses, right, the 0 is to everything that's in the parentheses.
okay,
All right. Now here we go. Again, we're looking at the numbers. So highlight the numbers. -15 divided by 5. What is that?
-3.
-3. Now, what about w to the 0?
That's just one.
That's 1, so that kind of just cancels out. What do I do to this u to the -1? Move it to the bottom as what? U to the first. So how many u's are on the bottom? 4. Perfect. All right, here we go. Let's try 27. Wow. After all that fancy stuff. 1. All right, let's look at 29. Okay, what happens to this 4 to the -1? It goes down. So now I have 1 over 4 times, I like that, 4 to the 3rd. Now the reason why it's 4 to the 3rd is because this is to the first, you add the exponents. Now we've done this enough that I think everybody here should just say, I now know that 4 cubed is what? 64, because we've done it 100 times. 4 cubed is a common number. I'd like everybody to write 1 over 64. What?
Since you're gonna move the negative exponent, then it's just gonna be.
All right, here we go. 31. Which one is equivalent to 4n to the 7th times 3n to the 5th? What is it? Because you do what to numbers,
Multiply.
and what do you do to exponents? Add them. Believe it or not, that's straight off an ACT test. That's hard to believe. All right, simple, simple. All right, 33, here we go. All right, so everybody take a look at 33. Someone brave. So far, I've got an A and a D,
I got C.
and I got a C. I've had several A's. Anybody else want to chime in? Anybody think they're just there? This is so simple that they automatically know what the answer is, and you don't know what anybody else is talking about. You're 100% sure, Rivers.
Yes.
C.
What is it?
A.
Why?
Because 28 divided by 4 is negative. Is it all negative? -7x, and then 4 minus 1 is 3, and then y stays the same. Y 3 minus 1 is 2.
I don't know what anybody else is doing. I just don't know what anybody else is doing. Right, that's just knowing a rule. Divide numbers, subtract exponents. Santa, how are we doing on that? If you thought it was C or D, now's the time. Speak up if you're confused. But again, he did a great explanation. Anybody have any issues with 33? All right, let's knock out 35. How do I find the area of a rectangle? or length times width. So everybody put inside the rectangle, area equals length times width. So area equals 3x squared y to the 5th times 7x to the 5th y to the 7th. Area equals,
21x to the 7th y.
wow, simple, simple, simple. Anybody have any issues with 35? 1. All right, 37. Besides, I don't want you writing down my answers.
Well, if I know how to do the work, then I can replicate.
You should be doing it yourself first and then checking with my answers.
Mr. Shroud, did you buy this since it?
37. Who remembers the formula for area of a circle?
Pi squared.
Pi r squared. Make sure you know that for the test. So now area equals pi. What is the radius?
2x to the 4th.
And what do I do with that?
Plug it into R.
Square it. That is correct. So now pi, what's 2 squared?
4.
4. What's x to the 4th squared? What is x to the 4th squared? What is x to the 4th squared? What? X to the weight. That's not helpful.
2x to the 2x to the
What? X, power to power, what's the rule?
x to 8.
My goodness, come on, x to the 8th. Power to power multiply. That is not what you said. I said, what's x to the 4th squared? You said 8. Final answer, I want everybody to write 4 pi x to the 8th. Okay, 39, let's see who's thinking. Power to power, what is the answer? Multiply. So x to the 24th to the a power would be x to the what? 24a. Now, if I told you that's equal to x to the power, it would be x to the what? 8. So now, someone who's a thinker, tell me how to figure out this answer. Jensen, really? I'm calling on you. 1/4. So 8 divided by 24 is 1/4, Jensen. What is it? 1/3. Whatever, same thing. I'm going to put that on your test. Whatever. 50 is the same as 100. So if you think you got 100, I'm just going to put a 50 and tell you that's whatever.
It's the same thing.
24a equals 8. Why do I know that's true? Because listen now, if the base is the same, the exponents must be what? Equal. And of course, we have rocket science in here. 8 over 24, Jensen, is obviously 1/4. Very good. All right, we're happy. All right, that wasn't that bad. That's a very, very, believe it or not, hard problem. I don't know why, but it's very difficult for kids. Yes. All right, I doubt that, but let's see. All right, hold on a minute.
So column B is x to the 4th.
Column B is x to the
And
4th.
column A is x to the 3rd, making column B 3.
Yes. Now, listen, I do want to tell you something here, guys. Look carefully, because you think you're right, and I'm going to tell you everything you said is correct. All right, but I really want everybody to look up here now. All right, this is very difficult, and again, most people don't know this. All right, it appears that column B is bigger because x to the 4th is bigger than x cubed. Does everybody agree? Right, but is that true? Let me explain why. Now, listen, I really want you to pay attention now if you want to be smart. All right, I did say it's greater than 0. All right, however, what happens if I do 1/2 squared, and what happens if I do 1/2 cubed? Which one's bigger? 1/2 squared is bigger. Now remember, if you take half of a half, that's a fourth. If you take a half of a half of a half, that's what?
An 8.
An eighth. Which one's bigger, a fourth or an eighth? 1/4 is bigger. So technically the correct answer here is what?
A is greater than.
D.
Because you don't know.
You don't know, right? If you talk about, listen to what I'm saying now. Come on, I'm trying to help you. All right? If you take a number between 0 and 1 and you square it, it's actually getting what? Smaller. Thank you for hearing me. If you take a number greater than 1 and you square it, it's getting what? It's getting bigger. But what happens if I chose 1?
Then it's you can't.
1 to any power is what?
1.
1. All right, so there's lots of ways to think about that now. I really want you to sit down now, stop, concentrate on what I'm telling you. All right, if you want to be a thinker, that's what you have to understand. If you want to do good on SAT and ACT tests, that's what you're up against. It appears as though column B is bigger because x to the 4th sounds bigger than x to the 3rd. But it all depends on what x is. If x is a fraction less than 1, when you square or cube, it's actually getting what? Smaller. All right? Anytime you're greater than 1, you're going to get what? Larger. And if you are 1, you're going to remain 1. All right? Now, again, like I said, guys, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make you a little smarter than what you already are. If you paid attention and you understood what I just said, you're a lot smarter than most. All right? And if you don't understand what I'm saying, I wish you would ask me again.
So since we don't know the variable.
That's exactly right. Since we don't know what x is, other than it's greater than 0, we can't possibly know what the relationship is. True? Very good question. What? If it was less than 0, it would be definitely, it would be B. Because if it's less than 0, that means it's what? Negative. And when I raise a negative to an even power, it's going to be positive. And when I raise a negative to an odd power, it's going to be negative. Now listen, your question was fantastic. That's super duper important also. And generally that's on standardized tests also. If it would be equal, I would have to say the exponents would have to be the same. You hear me? All right, in order for it to be equal. All right, listen, hopefully feel a little bit smarter and a little bit wiser. That's very, very good. 41 is very good problem. All right, let's take a look now at 40. We're done. All right, now, again, before I turn you loose, again, listen, I know we have time. Please, listen, do me a favor, guys. We're at the end. I told you I have 5 months to make you smarter. You have to do the work, maths. You're hearing me? You don't know the rules, and not you personally, but you don't know the rules because you're not practicing. All right, that's the problem I'm having. I promise you, everyone in here is smart enough to do well. Everyone. Right, those of you guys are not doing well is no one else's fault but your own, because you're not practicing enough. You think other things are more important. Nothing is more important than being smart, especially in today's world. All right? You got to learn. You got to like to learn. All right? Especially math. All right? Like I said, math and English, the two most important things. Please don't come to class tomorrow without this being done. All right? That's what my thing is. And then tomorrow I'm going to go through the evens just like I did the odds. Once we're done, I'm going to say, I promise you, in Microsoft Word is how I make up all my tests. I can just go in and quickly change the what?
Numbers.
Change the numbers. That's all I'm doing. You'll look at it and you go, wow, this is exactly, yes, that's the way I'm doing. The only thing that I'm going to change up is the what? The SAT and ACT, because I copy those right off the test. All right? And you'll have some unique problems there that I'm trying to help you out with thinking. All right, please practice. If you don't know something, it's your own fault. All right, what?
So there won't be scientific notation on it?
No, I'm not putting scientific notation. You guys were good at scientific notation. And again, you can use a calculator, so. What?
I'm not missing. What day is that test?
That would be Wednesday. We always review for 2 days. All right, guys, I'm flipping on the lights, all right? Get to work. All right, Xavier. All right, get to work, please. Study tonight. All right, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, and I want you to do well on this first test.
Okay.
All right? And hopefully you're coming back soon, too. All right, see you soon, buddy.